Hey everybody, this is my preview of the 2022 Kansas State football season, so here it goes. First off, I want to talk about the depth chart and all that, so let's start off with the offense. Uh, the offense has a new offensive coordinator in Colin Klein. He was promoted up back up to the offensive coordinator position after Courtney Messingham got fired after the regular season ended. So I think Colin Klein do will will be a really good offensive coordinator and help improve the offense. Help improve the offense to be more consistent and play better. So I think he'll improve the offense a whole lot. So I think Colin Klein will be a good offensive coordinator. So the quarterbacks. Uh, K State lost their starter from that. K State lost Skylar Thompson. Uh, I think we got a few good players to replace Skylar Thompson. First is Adrian Martinez. Uh, he's transferring in from Nebraska, and I think Adrian Martinez will be much improved here at K State than he was at Nebraska. Because in my opinion, Nebraska's kind of a mess for the last 2 years. So I think Adrian Martinez will be much improved in his playing here at K State. So I think Adrian Martinez will be the start off as a starter this year at K State, followed by Will Howard and Jake Rubley. I think those two will be the two backups for Adrian Martinez this year. But yeah, those are the three quarterbacks, the top three quarterbacks at K State this year. The running backs, I think the starting running back will be Deuce Vaughn. I think he'll be the starter like always. And the backups, we got two from last year. K State lost the number 2 and number 3. From last year's team, K State lost the number 2 and number 3 running backs. So we have to replace those two players. And I think replace those with Jax, Deneen, and Devin Weathers. I think those two will replace the two players we lost from last year. Can't remember those two running backs we lost from last year. So I think those are the three top running backs this year. Our receivers, the top three receivers for this year are Phillip Brooks, Malik Knowles, and Cade Warner. Those are my top three receivers this year. And also we got a transfer from Ole Miss and Jaden Jackson. And K State got another Lockett coming in this year, and Sterling Lockett, the brother of Tyler Lockett, he's coming in. So those two are in my opinion, will be the fourth and fifth wide receivers. I think the wide receiver unit needs to keep improving and improve and needs to improve and all that. So I think this is a really good receiver unit, but they could still improve and all that. The tight ends, K State lost Nick Lerners and Daniel M. Matorbebe. Sorry for mispronouncing his name. K State lost those two tight ends from last year, but I think we got two good tight ends this year, and Ben Seno and Sammy Wheeler. I think those would be the two best tight ends this year. The offensive line, I think our offensive line is really good. Probably not the best offensive line, but I think it will be good this year. K-State lost Noah Johnson, Ben Adler, and Joshua Rivas from last year. I think we got good players to I think we got good players to fill in in their absence. This year, I think the starters will be Cooper Bebe, KT Livingston, Hayden Gillum, Taylor Portier, and Christian Duffy. I think those would be the starting offensive linemen for this year. I think the coaching staff will, I think they will mismatch players on the offensive line, but I think those will be the starters for this year. But I think they will miss and match the players to fill in and all that. So overall, I think the offense is pretty good. Probably not the greatest offense in the country, but I think it'll be a better offense than last year, in my opinion. I think the offense will do pretty good this year, in my opinion. The defense, I think, will continue on improving on themselves. I think the defense did pretty decently good last year. They weren't world beaters last year, but I think if they continue improving, I think they will be a really good team this year. Good group this year on defense. The defensive line, I seen that they went to the 3-man front this year. For the defensive line, they lost a couple players in Timmy Horn and Bronson Massey. They lost them from the line. But this year, I think the starters will be Felix Enudike Uzuma, Nate Matlack, and Eli Huggins. I think those will be the three defensive linemen on defense this year, the starters. But like I said, on the offensive line, I think they will mismatch players on the line. The linebackers. I think they're linebackers. I think the linebackers is a concern, or I think it might be a somewhat of a concern, because K-State lost Cody Fletcher and Reggie Stubblefield. And I think the top five linebackers on the team are Khalid Duke. He switched positions from defensive end. He went from defensive end to linebacker. I think Will Honas, he transferred in from Nebraska as well, along with Adrian Martinez, Daniel Green, Sincere Mason, and Sean Robinson. He is a transfer from Missouri. So I think those are the top 5 linebackers on the team this year. I think that will be the five main linebackers matching at the linebackers positions. I think so. The defensive backs, I think this is the most concerning. I think this is the most concerning group of players I read. K-State lost Jerron McPherson, Ross Elder, and Russ Yeast. K-State lost those 3 players. For the cornerbacks, I think the starters will be Ikao Boydo and Julius Brents. Julius Brents. For the safeties, I think T.J. Smith, Josh Hayes, transferred from North Dakota State and Virginia, transferred from North Dakota State to Virginia and from Virginia to K-State, and Drake Cheatham, and he's transferred from Prairie View A&M. I think those three will be mismatching as starters for the safety positions. So I think they'll move in and out players on the defensive backs. But I think those five will be the main starters for the four positions at the defensive back positions. Special teams. I think the starter for the kicker will be Chris Tennant, and the punter Ty Center. So those are my predictions for the depth chart. Onto the schedule. First up, we got South Dakota on September 3rd, and I think we'll win that game. South Dakota's a decent FCS opponent, but I think we'll beat South Dakota. Next up, we got Missouri, our old rival, old Big 12 rival. They come into town on September 10th. Missouri's a average SEC team right now, and I think K-State's a little bit better than Missouri right now. I think K-State will scrape out a win over Missouri, or Missouri, however you want to pronounce it. Next up, Tulane comes to town on September 17th. Tulane is a okay team, not the greatest, but they gave Oklahoma a scare last year in the opening game. I think they were the first game of the year last year. I know they were one of the Oklahoma's non-conference games last year, and Tulane gave them a really good scare. But I think we'll do what Oklahoma did last year and beat Tulane. Our first conference game, talking about Oklahoma, we go to Oklahoma on September 24th. We go play them in Norman. I think this is one of the games I got as a 50-50 game, and I debated, kind of went back and forth on it, but I give Oklahoma the win against us, so I predict K-State will lose to Oklahoma in a close game, in my opinion. Next up, we got Texas Tech on October 1st. And I think Texas Tech will be a decent team this year. They got a new coach, I think. I think this will be a transition year for Texas Tech with a new coach. I think they'll be a good team, but I think we'll once again defeat Texas Tech. Then we go to Ames to play Iowa State on October 8th. I think Iowa State kind of took a couple steps back. I think, but I think K-State's a little bit better team than Iowa State. I think we'll end our losing streak to Iowa State and get a win. Then we got a bye week after Iowa State. After our bye, then we go to TCU on October 22nd. TCU also got a new coach. This will be like a transition year for them as well. So I think with the new coaching staff, I think K-State will get a win over TCU. Then we come back home to play Oklahoma State on the 29th of October. And Oklahoma State's really, really better than us. So I think we'll lose to Oklahoma State again. I think we have a shot at beating Oklahoma State, but I think they're a whole lot better than us right now. So I think we'll lose. Then on the first Saturday in November, the 5th of November, we play Texas. And I think we finally end our losing streak to Texas and beat them this year. I think Texas will be a little bit better than they were last year, but not a whole lot. They have better talent than we do, but it's still the same old Texas we've been seeing the last few years. So I think we'll not shoot ourselves in the foot this year like we did last year and finally beat Texas and end our losing streak to Texas. So I think we'll win. Then we go to Waco to play Baylor on November 12th. And like I said with Oklahoma State, Baylor's better than us. They are better than us. And I think we'll lose to Baylor. I think we got a good shot at upsetting them, but I think Baylor's still way better than us. So I think Baylor will win. Then our final road game of the year at West Virginia on November 19th. I think West Virginia is I think we'll beat West Virginia again. West Virginia's, I think we're a little bit better than West Virginia. So, and I think their coach is on the hot seat this year. So I think we'll beat West Virginia. I think we have the same talent level, but I think we'll beat West Virginia. Then our final game of the year we play Kansas at home on November 26th, and of course we're way better than Kansas, and I think we'll win. Can Kansas upset us? Of course, but I think that's not very likely to happen. I give them a 15% chance of winning, but that's it. So I think Kansas will lose to us again for the 14th year in a row. It's been so long we've beat them in a row. I can't remember if it's 13th or 14th, but I think it's 14th year in a row. I think we currently have on a 13-game winning streak against them. So I think if we beat them this year, it'll be 14th year in a row. So I think we'll beat Kansas. So I think K-State will go 9-3 this year, with a 6-3 conference record. I think the worst we'll do is 7-5, and the ceiling for us, in my opinion, is 10-2. So, but overall, I think we'll go 9-3 with a 6-3 conference record. So that's it. That's it for me. So go State and EMA.